Now, your while loops everybody's here. Your while loops is your while loop is a fundamental control flow structure in JavaScript, similar to the for loop we've already explored. Now, it has a different operation, almost entirely on what? On a single crucial element. Now, understanding how to properly define and manage the condition is important, as it acts as what? As a gatekeeper for your. Okay, let us just leave this. Let's go into. Now, what is the essence of this particular loop? I'm trying to check for a better explanation. Okay, now, without a clear and effective condition, your while loop either won't run at all, or worse, it will run indefinite. What does indefinitely mean? What does it mean? Infinite loop, exactly. Now, in your for loop, right, you can give it a particular condition, isn't it? And you can say, okay, I'm not giving, even in your for loop, if you don't give the condition, what will happen? Infinite loop, most likely. Now, it's the same thing with your while loop. If you did not give your while loop an effective condition, now this is not just saying a condition, an effective condition, a condition that makes sense, it will not run at all. Or worse, it's going to what? Run indefinitely, meaning you're going to have an infinite loop, now leading to an unresponsive program. Now, this lesson will dissect while loop conditioning, explaining its nature as a Boolean expression and the most. Okay, let us leave it. You understand what Booleans are, right? Now, of course, you need to understand this. Any loop is a what? Any loop condition is a what? Is a Boolean expression. You don't understand this, right? What are Booleans? Booleans are truth or false values. So any loop condition at all has a what? Is a Boolean. So meaning that if that Boolean is either true or false, it's not going to determine the outcome of the loop. Is it clear to you? It's going to determine the outcome. Now, this statement, when evaluated by JavaScript, results in either true or false. Now, for a while loop, the condition is dependent on whether the loop's block of code will execute for another iteration. Now, this means that what? It's going to determine that, okay, will the next iteration be true or false? If it is false, what happens? Everything is going to stop. But if it is true, it will keep going. It's just similar to your for loop, but with different syntax. Now, you've experienced true to represent the truth or that the condition has been met, falsehood or what condition has not been met. I think we've done this before. Now, we need to also talk about while loop. Now, as you can see, your while loop is just basically what? Can you look at it? Who can guess the syntax? Just condition. Your while loop basically talks about condition and implementation. That's all. Condition and code to be executed once this condition is true, just like your if statement. Now, again, the difference between your if statement and your while loop is that if statement only runs once. While loop can be used to iterate over what? A condition. This is basically how your if. Now, in your if statement, you also have if condition, right? Then code of block, right? But now in your while, you have while condition. So before each iteration of the while loop, the condition inside the parenthesis is what? Evaluated. Before any of this iteration works, this condition is what? Evaluated. Then, now, if condition evaluates to true, the code inside the curly braces known as the loop body executes. After the loop body finishes, the condition is what's check taken. Now, if one particular condition is executed, it prints out the result, right? It goes back to the condition, checks, prints it again. Now, it keeps doing it until what? The condition is what? False. Do you get it now? That is how the while loop works. Now, for your for loop, you first of all initialize it. You give it a condition. Then you now give it a what? Iteration. Do you understand? For your while loop, it is just saying that what you have just the condition, and then you have the parameters that you want to execute. Now, if those parameters continue to be true, what happens? Now, that is why they say in for loop, you will know the amount of iteration, right? In while loop, you don't actually necessarily need to know the amount of iteration. You just need to know the condition, and then it will iterate, keep iterating. That is why I said it is perfect for a to-do list. Everybody understands while loop. Is it clear? I'm not getting the right answer. Is it clear to you? Is it clear? Eh? No. You can use if and else statement, but it's not paramount. What I'm saying is that while loop has similar syntax to if statement. You say you don't understand. What don't you understand about while loop? Everything. What is, do you understand for loop? What, how do you declare your for loop? The what? So you have your for loop, initialization, you have condition and what? Okay. Now, basically what I'm saying about your while loop is that your for loop has three things. It has your initialization, it has your condition, then it has your what? Your decision. Either you want to increment it or decrement it. While loop does not have all those things. While loop only has what? Condition. That's what I'm saying. That's syntax. So you have your while, and then you have your what? Your condition, and then you have the code to be executed as long as the condition is what? True. Is it clear? That's basically what it's saying. Now, I need you to understand it now. For instance, let us take this example. We said let count equals to what? Can we see it? Let, as you can see, we declared our initialization outside the while loop, not necessarily inside. Now we have said let count equals to what? 3. Now, right here, what's the condition? As long as count is greater than 0, it is going to what? Keep printing. Now, the condition is what? Count should be greater than 0. But yeah, count is what? We are starting with what? 3. That's the start count. Now, if true, the body what we execute. Now let's see what we have. So we have what? Console.log current count condition is what? True. So you have what? Count greater than that. Now this is to illustrate that. Now let us just check what happened. So we'll check it out now. We'll see what we have. So Control C. So I'm going to check it out now. We're going to see what's going to happen. So if I put it here and then we check it out, what can you see? Current count condition is what? Is true. What just happened was that it actually, can you see 3? It looked through it 3 times to see, okay, how exactly is it going to work? Now, let me show you what I'm trying to say. You have what? Count is starting from what? Count is actually 3 right here. You now say as long as count is what? Greater than 0. What do you want? You want to print out count condition is actually what? True. Which is what? Count is greater than what? 0. Now, this particular count greater than is going to print what? True, because it's actually true here. But first of all, it iterated how many times? 3 times to check if it is actually what? True. Because why? Count value is what? Do you understand? That is basically what it is. Since count is greater than 0, just a moment. Since count is greater than 0, where will it start from? Where will it start from? Eh? Where will it start from? Since count is greater than 0, it start from what? 1. That's the condition. So 1, 2, 3. That's why I said it would happen 3 times. So let's change it to 4. And let's check it. Now, as you can see, how many times? 4. Do you understand? I'm going to come again. Let me use this to explain it. So we'll consider a basic scenario where we want to loop to run a specific number of times. Count starts from where? 3, right? Now we're not saying while count is greater than 0, right? As long as while you are counting, as long as count is what greater than 0, what do you want? You want to console log count current condition is what is true. Do you understand now? And then it's going to print out what true. Now count equals what? Now this line is crucial. It changes count to eventually make the condition false. Now it is going to keep. Let me just show you what I'm trying to say. If I remove this now, if I remove this particular line right here, right, it is going to keep running. Why? Eh? Why will it keep running? Let me just show you. So most likely we're going to look. Can you see? Can you see that it keeps running? Why will it keep running? Now let me show you what exactly this particular line is saying. Don't worry. Now let me remove all of these things that is giving us tough time. I'm going to remove it now. Just a minute. All right, good. Now, I said let count equals to what? 4. That's your initialization. Just follow me and you understand this now. Can you see it now? Now I said let count equals to what? 4. Isn't it? Meaning count is starting from where? 4. Count is 4 already. Now, I now said while count is greater than 0, what's going to happen? No. It is going to start from. No. I need to understand this thing again. Wait. Just listen to it. Listen to it. Count equals 4. Wait. You understand it? Count equals 4. While count is greater than 0, console or log this out. Now, count initial listening is what? 4. Right? Now, it is not saying that while count is greater than 0. No, it is not an if statement. I just check if count is equal to 0 or greater than 0. If it was an if statement, what will happen? It will just print it once. But your while loop will check it the first time because you're saying it's greater than 0. So you start from what? 1. Check, okay, it's greater than 4. Then is greater than 0. 1 is greater than 0. 2 is greater than 0. 3 is greater than 0. 4 is greater than 0. Now you're expecting to stop at 4, right? Isn't it? Because count is 4. But you not stop. It will keep going. Why? Because while loops are not definite. You don't know the amount of iteration they should have. They don't know the amount of iteration they should have. So you are going to have to stop that iteration at wherever it is you want. Do you get it? Just a moment, you ask. Now, do you get this explanation? I want to know if you get this explanation first. Do we ask the question? That means you did not get it. That means you did not get it. Let me explain it again. You did not get the explanation. If you ask the question, we're going to digress. Okay, ask your question.
I was
That's what I'm trying to say. While count is greater than 0, it is looping. Your for loop is probably what will start counting from what? 4. In fact, your for loop will also count from 0. Why? It is a loop. It is not exactly going to start from the initialization. It's going to start from where? The condition. What is the condition? While count is what? Greater than what? 0. Isn't it? That's the condition. Good. Now, since the condition is what? While count is greater than 0, it is not going to start counting until count gets to 4. But now you're expecting it to stop. It will not stop. Why? Because your condition is what? Count is already greater than 0. So it is going to start counting from whatever is greater than 0. So it will go to from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And why is it like that? It is like that because your while loop is indefinite. It does not really know the amount of iteration you want. Do you get? It does not really know the amount of iteration you want. You now have to tell it that okay, you need to stop it. Do you get? That is why when you get here, he said count equals what? Count minus 1. So now it's not going to what? Automatically know, okay, the last one I want you to stop is what? 4 minus 1 is going to stop it. Now it's going to minus all the other iterations and stop. Now if you come here and you remove this, automatically you will have what? 4 in this place. Okay. Please ask your question while we are battling infinity.
I just know that
again, you need to understand your while loop. Your while loop is saying that your while loop is very, very easy to run into indefinite loop with while loop. Why? Because the while loop does not have a definite iteration. You just need to understand that, and then you can get this. Your while loop does not have a definite iteration. Like your for loop that you can specify the amount of iterations that you want. That you can say, okay, if I is not greater than 4 or equals to 4, it's going to stop. Do you get? Your while loop is saying that that condition, as long as that condition is true, it will keep on going. It will keep going. Unless I now specify 0 in this place now. This condition is now what? Automatically false. So it's not even going to run at all. So if you check it out, so let us check it out now. You should have what? It is not even running at all, as you can see. Wow, that condition is not true. Because why? Count is actually 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No. But while loop is saying that it will keep running until you now specify that you want to stop it. I just removed it. It gave us an infinite loop. Yes, it will keep looping. It will keep looping and keep looping and keep looping. Yes, you're not saying that, okay, whenever you now have count equals to what? 4. So this is it. Count equals to what? 4. Condition is what? Count, while count is greater than 0, do this, right? Now, if you've not done this, what do I now want? I want to make sure that this particular count is now equals to what? Count minus 1, meaning that this loop is going to stop whenever it gets to 4. So whenever you now want to like continue iterating over 4, it's going to stop. That's what that minus 1 is. No, it's going to count up to 4. No, not exactly. It's going to get to 4. Is there something like 5 minus 1? So when it gets to 5, it's going to what? Minus 1 and stop. That's what I just showed you. What are you saying here? That's the iteration. That's what I'm saying. While loop is not like your for loop. That you see all of those. No. You just see that, okay, this thing is actually iterating. It's actually moving. It's actually going. That's why I said it is best for instance, now, if you are writing your to-do list, if you write one particular list, do you see it 4 times? You see it how many times? But it has iterated. It has actually looped through. Because if you write another one, it will come down. You will not see that thing twice. You see only one again to come down. It will keep iterating, keep iterating, keep iterating. It is not something that does happen once. You don't know the amount of iteration. So it's just to assume that, okay, you want to have multiple lists, keep iterating over it. Is it clear now? That's what your while loop is. I hope this extension is. Now, your while loop is not as easy as your for loop. It's actually very technical. But again, it's also easy. You just need to understand that you have a condition, and then you're going to have you're going to have an implementation that happens whenever that condition is true. Now, it is not possible that that condition is what? Infinite. Do you get it now? Now, I just showed you that you can also stop your while loop by what? By using this. You understand? You can also stop your while loop by making sure that, okay, you now set that new value to -1. Now, -1, whenever it now gets to what? The new listing, just what? -1 and stops. Do you get? That's why you have this -1. Okay, now moving on. Now, this is the first. Now, again, let us look at it. Let me now thank God that they broke it down. Initially, count is what? 3. The condition set is what? Which is count should be greater than what? 3. What's the condition? Count greater than 0, isn't it? Now, that's the condition, which means that count is what? 3 is greater than what? 0, which evaluates true. Now, good. The loop would execute if it had an actual body here. Now, let us see it. Count changes to 2, right? Is it still true? Is it still greater? Yes. Count will not change to what? 1. Is it still also greater? True. Now, count will now be 0, which is what? False. Now, it now terminates here. Do you get it now? Because you don't want it to be like, you don't want it to keep iterating. You want to what? Stop the iteration. Do you understand it now? So it keeps counting. So the start count is what? 3. Moves to what? To 1, and then it automatically stops. Then you loop terminate. Do you get it now? This is basically what your while loop is saying. Now, why was it? So it was like, designing effective condition is key to precise loop control. So conditions typically involve, so you have variables and what operators. Okay. I think you understand precedence, you understand your operators, right? Is it clear to you? Any questions on understanding your while loop? My code. Okay. Let me stop recording for now. Then I'll explain these basics, and then in our next class we'll continue from while loop, and then we'll talk about other things.